everybody, my name is Federico and tonight I'd like to present my senior project. So, welcome everyone, and thank you for coming to my presentation. Before starting, I wanted to introduce my mentor, Ron Klein from Central Valley Helicopters, and my host parents, Craig and Patricia Clare, for hosting me for this year here in Quiritas. I also wanted to introduce my evaluators, Mrs. Fogel from Quiritas High School, and Mrs. Fairburn, ex-teacher here in Quiritas. Again, thank you for being here. As you all know, I come from a foreign country, where school is totally different from here. Everything is different. I'm from Milan, a big city in the north region of Italy, and schools there don't give you interesting opportunities such as job shadow. We're just used to studying a lot, and we don't get exposed to the hands-on aspect of knowledge. So we work hard, but only on the theory, and there is no contact with the job work. I'm very ambitious, and I always try to get the most from everything I do. So what I want is to take advantage of my staying here in the United States by participating in all senior requirements. As a result of this, I've chosen Ron Klein as my mentor for my senior project. He's an entrepreneur, he's a businessman, and his field is aviation. So it's clear that for me this is a unique career model and a unique opportunity because it's something that I couldn't pursue in my home country. In addition, both my parents and my sister in Italy are in business-related careers, and this has inspired me to pursue a career in business as well. When I first met Ron, I hadn't been in America very long. The school, the language, the people, everything was new. I found myself taking the senior project class, and I didn't really know what I had to expect. I thought that probably a job shadow would have been the most educational project I could have engaged in a foreign country. So in these 2 months spent job shadowing, I learned a lot. But let's just start from the beginning. So my first goal for my senior project was to learn what it takes to be an entrepreneur and a businessman. I wanted to learn more about helicopter commercial aviation in order to try to figure out what I want to do after I graduate. To start this process, I first needed to meet with my mentor and develop a scope for my job shadow experience. I also needed to interview him and devote as much time as possible in following his work, being very curious and asking many questions. That is exactly what I did. So first of all, I had to find out what his job exactly entailed, and so here's what I learned. Central Valley Helicopters provides several services and operations, and to do so, it uses different helicopters. Well, probably one of the most important and substantial services is the aerial seating, which provides habitat restoring, fertilization, and of course crop seeding by air. Another important service is the aerial application of agricultural products such as pesticides and herbicides. Also, a truck with a big tank of fuel would drive to the fields or to the place that needs to be managed, so that the helicopter can refuel without loss of time or fuel. On this particular service, I also had the opportunity to see Ron dealing with a customer the very first day I went over. So what he does is basically he goes on the website of Central Valley Helicopters, and then through a map on the computer he can see the fields and select the areas that needs to be managed so that he can present a plan to his customer. Dealing with customers is one of the skills necessary for his profession. Other important services provided by Central Valley Helicopters relate to the firefighting and the wildlife conservation with operations of surveying and capture. Also, the cherry drying, which allows to prevent damages to the cherries during or after rainstorms, and external lift, construction, also search and rescue, and yeah, tourist photography. So Ron showed me the hangar and the 4 helicopters he has, and explained to me the differences and yeah, the different uses of each of them. This accomplished one of my deadlines. Another of my deadlines required me to interview my mentor. Although it might look or seem like the most boring part of job shadow, not really. I came to realize that it was one of the most interesting and inspirational. I'm still amazed every time I just think to it, and I imagine I could have the same success. Ron wasn't born to a rich family. He developed his dream during high school, and he was working on a farm, and saw the helicopters and the planes which dropped and sprayed crop protection on the field. His dream took shape. He wanted to fly. So while attending college, he obtained both a private and a commercial licenses for aviation, so that he could be hired and employed to fly. Of course, it wasn't easy to merge everything, but he persevered and he succeeded. He continued to work hard, and at the age of 27, he obtained his degree in mechanical engineering and has already realized his dream of flying. But yeah, he didn't settle on that. Continuing to work hard, he participated in several part-time and full-time jobs, both as an engineer and as a pilot. And in 1997 had enough money to start his own business. He risked everything, and he persevered, and he succeeded. So this is why I'm so proud of my mentor. He's a source of inspiration for me. He's very competitive and devoted to work, and I learned a lot from him. Actually, the moments that I most appreciate are those in which Ron and I were just talking, because his advice was so precious to me. He explained to me the importance of working a lot and work hard, and the importance to having a dream and a goal and to pursue it. He put passion, determination, and effort in everything he did, and he was always ready to solve problems. In fact, when you own a business, several problems may occur every day. Needs have to be accomplished, and this is the reason why one of the most important skills for an entrepreneur is versatility. In fact, the need for a new hangar is now making Ron very busy on its construction. That is performed by himself, of course with the help and collaboration of his staff. I think this is really impressive. This is also the reason why throughout all the project I have spent most part of the time learning about hangar construction and engineering skills. So from the very first day of my experience, I have been learning about his project for the new hangar. I remember that the first day after showing me the construction drawings, we went to the site. At that point it was just sand and earth. But we had to work on this project. So on that occasion, I remember that I had a lot of opportunities to learn about building techniques. And then day after day, the project has progressed. And I assisted in the construction of the site, and helped in every way I could. So first of all, we had to put gravel on the sand as a first base layer. And I had the task to compress the gravel with a vibratory compactor. After that, we need to put concrete on the gravel and wait for it to cure. So we had a mono slab of concrete, and these are steel bars where the posts were supposed to go. In this picture, we can see the actual posts connected with purlins and girts. After that, in this picture, we can see the structure. And how the project looks today is well like this, with the spaces for the two big doors and the wall. So during hangar construction, I learned both from Ron's experience and by the evidence of what was happening around me. It was really nice to help my mentor in his purpose of he himself building his own new hangar. The time spent in this senior project is sincerely precious to me. I'm still not totally sure about what specific area of study to pursue at college. I mean, this is probably the most important and also difficult decision of a life, because it will determine what I will be doing for the rest of my entire life. So, but still, during these 2 months since I'm here, I have found out that my general area will be the business, and this is such a big step for me. Before coming here, I didn't even know if I would be studying law or medicine. So Ron has helped me a lot in finding my path. And thanks to him, I learned the importance of being versatile. So having many different skills that are, important. It's really important to be always ready to provide for the needs of your business. The second keyword is perseverance. Believe in what you do and do it with effort and passion is the key to success. So during this experience, I had during this experience, as I mentioned before, the most significant and precious time was the time spent in Tokyo. Relating with an American businessman and entrepreneur has helped me not only to experience a job at the other side of the world, but also to draw a sketch of what I need to achieve in the next 10 years in order to be as successful as I can. So Ron explained to me the importance of having experience and practice and so actual work in addition to my study and certificates. And this is why I'm going to find a part-time job when I go back to Italy, since I can't work here for the program. And he also explained to me the importance of a resume, pushing me in enriching it as much as I can. And this is the reason why I plan to learn Spanish as my third language after I will have learned English perfectly during this year here in the United States. Okay, so after listening to my presentation, my audience should now recognize the benefits of my experience, through which I learned and matured. I gained experience both in business, in construction, and for my life. I would recommend an experience like the one I had to every young guy ready to learn and to grow up. I would also recommend to be as curious and attentive as possible, because this is the way to take the most from the experience of the job shadow, an experience that can help you to form a career path and to determine whether or not you're suited for a particular job. I believe that with this experience I've been taking the most from this exceptional opportunity that I wouldn't have had in my home country. I would therefore thank my host parents for making possible my attendance here at Hiritas High School. And finally, I wanted to express all my gratitude to my mentor, Ron, for every piece of advice, every emotion I will never forget my first time on the helicopter. and for teaching me how to success in the tough reality that is the job work day. So thank you. I would also finish my presentation with this video. This new project was really significant and fun to me. Hope you enjoyed my presentation. I will be open to every question while I play the highlights of my experience.
Well, I guess I have a question. In the university that you might attend, over here, after 2 or 3 years in your major area, you're encouraged to do an internship. Work, in other words, let's pretend you were in finance and business. You might go to a bank for 1 semester or 1 quarter, not get paid, sometimes get paid, and have hands-on experience similar to what you're getting here. Do you do that? Do they do that in where you would go?
In Italy?
In Europe?
Yeah, they do.
Internships are common then?
Yeah, in the university you can decide to study abroad or to have this kind of experience that I think are really useful for.
It's encouraged here.
Yeah. And
it sometimes leads you to a job, but experience is good.
Yeah, this was how they see it. So we went in the helicopter and yeah, they showed me how they do for seeding. They just go really close to the ground, drop the seed or crop protection, whatever, and then they go up like that, and it's amazing.
Were you ever nervous?
There?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Yeah.
You want to learn the why now?
Well, you never know.
You're in the right family for learning about
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah, this is the view of Hiritas.
I think you did an amazing job.
Oh.
I'd have to say, out of all the senior projects I've ever evaluated, hands down, you have the best PowerPoint. Yep, most creative, and yeah, I really enjoyed that.
And don't worry about your English, it's very good.
Yeah, I try to.
And apparently, if you ever need a public speaker for anything, holy cow, I felt like I was wanting to vote for you for something.
You didn't know he's going to get roasted tonight.
For you.
Oh, thank you very much.
And this is the certificate. Thanks for the school. And here's a gift of Italian
Oh, awesome.
stuff.
All right.
As close to Italy as we could find.
What's probably the
Do you need any
biggest
more job
difference?
traveling?
Yeah, that would be great.
probably the biggest difference you see in our school and your schools there. Did you go to public school or private?
Public.
Public.
Yeah. In Italy, private schools are easier. Yeah. Well, the most, okay, what is different? Yeah, it's different than, we had to study a lot, as I said. Every day I spent at least 3 hours just sitting down.
Your
studying.
curriculum was more in depth.
Yeah, we don't do barely anything. We just study, you know. Sit down all the afternoon learning history and a lot of Latin, philosophy, pages and pages, and then forget what you did at the beginning of the year to learn what you're doing at the end. So I think it doesn't work a lot because we study really a lot, but you can't know all the program. You can memorize the principal points, but not everything. So I think this kind of method is less tough, it's less hard, but it involves you more. So I think it works better. And I was wondering why a lot of big minds come from the United States and a lot from Europe, even if we probably do more or struggle more. Because here guys are involved and they're set to think about your future and what you like to do and do what's in your project. And finally,
I love that picture. Did your parents know you were flying in a helicopter?
You still look like that, you still look like that when I saw him an hour later.
Oh, that's
Come on,
great.
Martin.
Hi, Rob.
We're done. Come in, we're done.